Welcome back. You're still watching the Monday Report on this second day of December 2024. To introduce the panelists here, I have Dr. Ekuru Aukot, who is the party leader of the Third Way Alliance. I have Dr. Alphonse Kanga, who is the NCCK chair, Nairobi region. And I have Evans Ogada, who is an advocate of the High Court. And as we restart the conversation, we're talking about the IEBC and the challenges they are in and what is happening. Now we have several by-elections not yet sorted out. Let's take a look at an update of what that looks like, and we begin by looking at the vacant offices. We have Banisa constituency. This is a constituency that was represented by Kulo Maalim Hassan, who died on the 28th of March 2023. We have another constituency, which is Ugunja constituency in Siaya County. The then MP Opiyo Wandayi was appointed to the position of Cabinet Secretary on the 7th of August 2024. It has been vacant since that time till now. Then there's the office of Magarini constituency, where Harrison Kombe, the seat has been vacant since May 2024 after the nullification of his election was confirmed by the Supreme Court. Beyond that, there's another seat that is vacant, and that is the slot that was occupied by John Mbadi as a nominated Member of Parliament representing ODM. It has been vacant since the 7th of August 2024. And let's now take a quick look at what the Constitution and laws of Kenya provide in terms of filling a vacancy. As soon as a vacancy occurs, the Speaker of the National Assembly or the Senate is supposed to notify the IEBC within 21 days, and also the constituency by election must be held within 90 days. Of course, we have beat that ceiling, especially for the Banisa constituency and Harrison Kombe's constituency in Kilifi County. Then if a position falls vacant, for instance, where you have, again, a nominated Member of Parliament, then what should happen is that the notification from the Speaker of the Assembly within 21 days should happen. The Speaker should also notify the political party affected. Therefore, the IEBC should make the replacement within 21 days, knowing too well that there is a party list. It's the work of the IEBC would have just to be picking out that name and gazetting it. There are several wards that do not have members of the County Assembly or are not represented. 9 of them have already communicated, and these are Nyansiongo Ward in Nyamira County, Fafi Ward in Garissa County, there is Nyamaiya in Nyamira County again, there is Mumbuni Ward in Machakos County, there is Kisa East Ward in Kakamega County, Lake Zone Ward in Turkana County, there is Chawani Ward in Tana River County, Angata Nanyukie Ward in Samburu County, and Narok Town Ward in Narok County. And of course, there are many others that also have occasioned. There has been vacancies, also nominated MCAs who have passed on, or there has been challenges. Those seats are vacant. They have not been filled for the lack of the commissioners at the IEBC. And Dr. Aukot, before we took a break from the conversation earlier on, we were debating on the things that IEBC can do or not do. But first, based on those seats that are vacant right now, what rights are Kenyans in those wards and constituencies suffering? So
those constituents are suffering the rights of representation, which are enshrined in the Constitution. And like I said earlier in the show, that the Supreme Court has since made a decision on the doctrine of necessity. So today, we cannot say that we are suspending constitutional rights because there are no commissioners. And I want to draw parallel to, for example, the clearance of the recently nominated Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, Professor Kindiki Kithure. Allegedly, and I use this word very deliberately, allegedly he was cleared by an IEBC. So the question that's lingering on the minds of Kenyans today, which is that IEBC that actually cleared Kindiki Kithure, which cannot, at the same note, hold elections in all these constituencies, all these wards, because then what you are affecting actually is the constitutional right of representation of the people. You know, so
But are you certain that actually there's an advisory that was written by the CEO of the IEBC?
What about it?
Are you certain that in clearing a DP nominee, Professor Kindiki, that there was communication from IEBC?
Saying, okay, if that clearance, because you see, I read the president's memoranda to Parliament.
It was there.
Yeah? Yeah. There was the president's memorandum to Parliament. And allegedly that memorandum was from IEBC. So then I think the question we should be asking, should we then be talking about the fact that there is no IEBC just because there are no commissioners? Because if Marjan, who is the CEO, then cleared Kindiki Kithure as IEBC, then why can't he at the same time also prepare for this
but
election?
From your reading of the law, can he without commissioners? Yes
and no. The no part for me is the fact that commissioners are the ones who actually pronounce the results in an election, the final results.
Right.
But the conduct of the election is actually done by the secretariat at the constituency level, at the polling station level.
Conducted by returning officers appointed by the commission.
Absolutely.
So who was the returning officer for that particular?
So the yes is that when you look at the principle of doctrine of necessity, which has since been determined even by the highest court in the land, we can law abhors vacuum.
Yeah.
Okay? So meaning therefore that the people of, for example, Opio and I's constituency Ugunja, must have representation.
Right.
Yeah? So we cannot say, why are we not holding election in those constituencies, in those wards, to deny these people representation?
Okay.
The question then, the flip side of it is that, okay, who actually is stalling the institution of the commissioners?
Okay. I'll get back to you, Dr. Kanga, but Evans, help us here. That IEBC was able to find that DP nominee, Professor Kindiki, qualifies to be elected or nominated for that position. Is it reason enough to say that IEBC should actually go ahead and conduct the by-elections?
Well, the fact and the law of purported clearance by IEBC of the Deputy President now, Kindiki, is a live question in court. And forgive me, I'm handicapped in the sense that I'm actively in that case.
Okay.
So I'll be very restricted in terms of what I say. But be it as it may, the IEBC is an independent commission, and what the law requires for it to perform, we look at Section 8 of the IEBC Act as read with the second schedule to the Act. What do those provisions in law require? They require a chairperson and commissioners to actively make decisions. If you look at the second schedule, actually,
right,
it states quite clearly that anybody who purports to exercise functions meant for the commission without authority, there is a problem if you look at the second schedule. So those are questions that will be conversed in court insofar as anything that has been done in the interim are concerned. If you look at Article 250, Sub-Article 4,
right,
it requires the commission to actually do a number of functions. You read that with Article 88, Sub-Article 4, that itemizes the functions of the commission. A reading of those provisions of law announces a handicap in terms of what Marjan and the Secretariat can do. Because Marjan and the staff that he leads are the Secretariat. They are handicapped in terms of what they can do.
Right.
So they cannot perform functions meant for the commission, because the commission, under the Constitution, 3 commissioners,
right,
as of a minimum, and that was reinforced by the Supreme Court in the presidential decision. 3 commissioners as a minimum, and only when 3 commissioners act can we claim that the commission has acted in conformity with Article 88, Sub-Article 4.
Okay.
No, no. Before Dr. Kang comes in,
yes,
I think let's make a clarification here. The commissioners is not a definition of the IEBC Commission. Their absence does not neuter the fact that we do not have a commission. And I think for me that's a big question that we need to have to do.
But does the law split the functions of the commissioners themselves versus the rest of the administrative arm, which is the secretariat?
No, IEBC cumulatively comprises of the commissioners and the secretariat. Okay? The commissioners, are the policy-making body in the commission.
Yes.
The enforcement body is the secretariat. And that secretariat is represented at the commission by the CEO. Marjan. Now, going forward, on the doctrine of necessity, okay? Now, in the absence of these commissioners, we are not saying that we are now stopping, for example, the continuous registration of voters. We do not need a commissioner for us to continually register voters under Article 88 of the Constitution. Okay? Today we have got 47, I think, IEBC offices and even offices in sub-counties.
Okay, let me pause you there because I'll get back to you. Dr. Kanga, you had spoken about that voter registration has not been going on. And indeed, just before the 2022 election, the IEBC, through communication from the chair then, Wafula Chebukati, indicated that there was a pause on voter registration to allow for the conduct of the of the general election. Now, they left office. I don't know whether they had restarted the continuous voter registration. You say that you've not been seeing it?
The issue with us is that as far as we are concerned, we are not lawyers on the table arguing about the legal systems.
Yep.
Whereas we respect the legal system, there is what is at stake here. And what do we see as laymen on the ground? Number one, we are not seeing transparency. We are not seeing clarity. And then it seems the moral part of it. When this is taking place, what about the time frame that is taking? What about what people lose in terms of material part of it, the money part of it? Where is this money, the people that belongs to those constituencies? How is those resources, the CDF?
Yes.
What's happening all this time up to now? So that registration, are we genuine now that we cannot see any registration going on in the name of IEBC? Are we aware that this is going to affect the next general election? Are we aware that we are hindering the youngsters, the young people in the community, to get involved in the management of their land effectively? If that is happening, then we need to sit down and ask, whereas the lawyers, my friends here, go ahead and discuss about the legal issue, the legal battles.
Yes.
To us as laymen, we are aware those things can also be worked out on the table. Let's say, for example, there are these issues here. The issue of the parties, we need parties to agree. The issue of inclusivity from Kiambu. Are those issues that are supposed to affect people that far? Is it not something even the elders can sit on the table and agree? Issues of these small party issues, of the small parties and big parties.
Committee?
Yes. Are those issues that are supposed to hurt people this far? Are we really genuine as Kenyans?
But Dr. Kanga, someone might tell you that actually that's not the original sin. There was once a selection panel that was constitutionally legally in office that had to stop working because there was another committee called the National Dialogue Committee came up with a report that ended up reviewing the IEBC Act on recruitment. We'll get back to that alongside other questions of voter registration itself, the boundaries delimitation, because we know that that should have happened and been concluded by March of 2024. It's now more than 7 months since the expiry of that deadline. We're back with this after this short break.